Did you know that the Tang Dynasty was only possible because of the achievements of a princess? Before the female Emperor Wu Zetian, and before other powerful Tang Dynasty women like Shangguan Wannu and Princess Taiping, there was another extraordinary woman. She wasn't born a princess, but raised as a warrior and trained to be a general. She raised her own army, led them to defeat Sui Dynasty commanders, cleared the way for her father to found the Tang Dynasty, and became the only imperial woman in Chinese history honored with a military funeral. She was Princess Pingyang. We're diving into the story of the amazing princess general who helped build the Tang Dynasty. To understand Princess Pingyang and the founding of the Tang Dynasty, we first need to quickly talk about the dynasties that came before, the Northern Zhou and the Sui. Let's start with the Northern Zhou. Back then, there were many powerful noble families that controlled strong military forces. One prestigious and influential family was the Dugu clan, led by the famous General Dugu Xian. Interestingly, Dugu Xian isn't famous today for his military talent. Instead, he's famous for his daughters. There's a popular saying, Dugu Jurder Tinshahi, who obtains a Dugu daughter obtains the world. This refers to three of his daughters who married into successive ruling families. His eldest daughter married Yuan around 550 CE. Later, Yuan became Emperor Ming of Northern Zhou, and she was posthumously named Empress Mingjing in 557 CE. His youngest daughter, Dugu Jialua, married Yang Jian when Yang Jian was a military general and regent of Northern Zhou. Yang Jian later founded the Sui dynasty and became Emperor Wen, making Dugu Jialua his empress when Xian around 581 CE. His fourth daughter married Li Bing of the noble Li clan in 566 CE. They had a son named Li Yuan, who would later found the Tang Dynasty. Unfortunately, she passed away before this happened, but was posthumously titled Empress Yuanjin. These are the same three Dugu sisters featured in the fictional drama The Legend of Dugu. For our story, we also need to mention the Dou clan, one of the oldest and most prestigious military families of Northern Zhou, led by the powerful Grand General Dou Yi. In 581 CE, Yang Jian established the Sui dynasty and proclaimed himself Emperor Wen. He didn't conquer the Northern Zhou through war. Instead, he used his existing power and connections within the Northern Zhou to usurp control from the inside. To ensure stability, he didn't attack noble families that didn't oppose him. This meant powerful clans like the Li and Dou families mostly kept their power and influence. Shortly after the Sui was founded, Li Yuan of the Li clan married a daughter of Dou Yi, Lady Dou. This formed a strong noble alliance. The Li clan now had blood ties to the Dugu clan and an alliance with the powerful Dou clan. In 589 CE, Emperor Wen fulfilled his dream of unifying China. By then, the Li clan was fully established, with enough military and political power to challenge the throne, so much so that they were seen as a partner family in Sui's rule. It was around this time that Princess Pingyang was born to Li Yuan and Lady Dou as their third child and only daughter. Unfortunately, her real name isn't recorded in historical records, so we'll call her Li Sunneng, meaning the Li family's third child, a daughter. At the time, Li Yuan served as governor of multiple prefectures and commander of several border garrisons. Li Sunneng grew up in a household that was basically a mobile command center, following her father as he traveled between his jurisdictions. She was surrounded by soldiers and raised by a mother from the martial Dou clan. Legends say Li Sunneng disliked dresses and preferred armor. From a young age, she trained in combat, learned to ride horses, and studied military strategy. This unique childhood laid the groundwork for her future as an unconventional princess. In 604 CE, Emperor Wen of Sui passed away. His son Yangguang ascended the throne as Emperor Yang. Unfortunately, Emperor Yang was not as capable as his father. Historical records describe him as reckless and cruel. He's mostly remembered for failed megaprojects that bankrupted the Sui, oppressive taxes, and forced labor, which led to widespread starvation and peasant rebellions across the empire. In 605 CE, Emperor Yang held a grand imperial tour to southern China. He visited Jiangdu, modern-day Yangzhou, and quickly fell in love with the luxurious city. A few years later, To justify his frequent visits, he declared Jiangdu the third capital of the Sui, alongside Chang'an and Luoyang. The emperor's focus was completely away from governing. Meanwhile, the powerful Li clan was seen as capable and righteous. During Emperor Yang's disastrous reign, rumors spread among the people that the Li clan was more legitimate and would replace the Yang clan. The Li family was no longer just a noble clan, they seemed to have the mandate of heaven. Around 610 CE, Li Sang married the young military official Shao. The Kai clan was also a noble military family with a long history of military command. When they married, Chai Shao served in the imperial palace in Chang'an. Li Sanang moved to the capital and began acting as her father's eyes and ears, helping the Li clan stay updated on court affairs. This marriage was another powerful political alliance for the Li family. It's hard to say if true love grew from this political arrangement, but historical records describe Li Sanang and Tai Shao as equal partners who deeply trusted each other. While not much about their marriage is recorded officially, some interesting stories have been passed down through folklore and unofficial accounts. One story says shortly after their marriage, Chai Shao challenged Li Sanang to an archery contest. Li Sanang easily shot down difficult targets and flying birds. Her skills impressed Chai Shao, who exclaimed, "Sanyang has the ambition of a man." Another story describes them studying military manuals and discussing strategy together. Chai Shao excelled in writing and archery, while Sanyang was skilled at reading battle formation maps. By 615 CE, Emperor Yang's chaotic rule had reached its peak. Rebellions broke out everywhere. One account says Li Sanyang and Kai Shao opened their doors to starving refugees, secretly distributing food. Chai Shao even worked with other officials to help refugees escape punishment. Within a year, uprisings were rampant, especially around the capitals Chang'an and Luoyang. Emperor Yang didn't want to deal with the chaos anymore. He decided to move to Jiangdu permanently, relocating the imperial court there with his most trusted officials, family members, and about 30,000 elite imperial troops for protection. Legends claim that around this time, a traveling monk visited the Sanang's family and prophesied, "The Li clan will replace the Sui. A woman among you will achieve greatness." By 617 CE, the rumors that the Li clan should take over the empire were impossible to ignore. Emperor Yang became paranoid and began punishing and executing prominent Li clan officials. Chai Shao was nearly arrested. It's said the Sunang bribed palace guards to free him. The Sui dynasty was collapsing, and the Li family was caught in the crossfire. Unofficial records say Li Yuan discussed the state of the world with her husband, famously saying, "The world has suffered under the Sui long enough. Emperor Yang's madness must be stopped." Li Yuan knew he had to strike first, not just to save himself and his family, but to save the entire empire. In early June 617 CE, he sent secret messages to family members and allies warning them of the impending war. He already had his second son Li Shimin with him, but needed everyone's help. He summoned supporters to join his main forces, including his eldest son Li Jiancheng, youngest son Li Yuanji, and son-in-law Asal. With the emperor and his elite troops far south in Jiangdu, it was the perfect time to act. In July, his army was officially mobilized, marching south from his military base in Jinyang toward Chang'an. This was the beginning of the end for the Sui dynasty. But there was one problem: Li Saneng and Tai Shao were still in Chang'an. They had been lying low since Tai Shao escaped arrest. Li Yuan's secret message to them was clear: escape the capital, rejoin the family in Jinyang. War is starting. Chang'an was no longer safe. They had to leave before news of Li Yuan's rebellion reached the court. But they couldn't go together. Chai Shao could leave immediately using his military position, but traveling with his wife would be too suspicious. Due to recent uprisings, all roads out of the region were guarded, only allowing those on official business to pass. And what official business would require both of them to travel? They had no choice but to separate. Chai Shao was distraught. How could Li Sang be safe alone in Chang'an? But Li Sunneng wasn't afraid. She knew what had to be done. She told her husband, "Go quickly. I'm a woman. I can hide easily. I'll find another way out." So Shao left. Back in Chang'an, Li Sang didn't just wait around. In August 6, 17 CE, she disguised herself to sneak out of the city gates and traveled to a remote family estate in Wushan, on the outskirts of the Chang'an region. This was as far as she could get from the imperial palace, without official military status. Then she sold all her possessions to gather soldiers willing to follow her. She needed to build an army, her own army. This was the beginning of what would later be called the Army of the Lady, New June. Historical records say Li Yuan's first act was one of compassion. She used all the money at her disposal to help the poor and needy nearby, opened granaries to distribute food, and provided shelter for as many refugees as she could. She told her soldiers there would be no burning, no looting, and no harming civilians. She enforced strict discipline, and her followers became known as protectors. She built a reputation for herself and grew popular among the people. By September 6, 17 CE, she had over several hundred loyal followers, but she needed more. Chang'an was built in a basin. The city itself sat on a plain, surrounded by mountains and hills on three sides. These mountainous areas were part of the Chang'an region, but official military control had weakened as uprisings spread and refugees multiplied. At the time, many bandit groups had formed from desperate refugees, hiding in the outskirts of Chang'an. Some were even small nomadic tribes from the north. Most of these bandits were just trying to survive. They had suffered under Sui rule. Li Yuan saw a unique opportunity with these bandit groups. Unofficial accounts say she negotiated with them, offering food, safety, status, and a new life. They wouldn't have to be bandits anymore. By October, Li Yuan had gathered most of the surrounding bandit groups under her command. She took these untrained but desperate bandits, reorganized them into structured units, and even absorbed local rebel forces that supported her cause. By the time the imperial court realized what she was doing, she already had a sizable army. The Sui officials left in Chang'an were in chaos. They needed a figurehead to rally around and stabilize the city. They decided to proclaim Yangyu, Emperor Yang's grandson, as acting emperor of the Sui. Yangyu had been left behind as an unfavored relative when the emperor fled. But he was still an imperial clansman, the best option the officials had. They hoped this would gather remaining Sui loyalists to fight the growing external threats. Then the Sui general Chu Tutong was dispatched to suppress uprisings around the capital, including Li Yuan's forces, but he failed. Multiple accounts describe how Chai Tutong's troops were repeatedly defeated by Li Yuan's army. With each victory, Li Yuan advanced and gained more supporters. By November, she had captured Hu County, Zhouji, Wugong, and Sheping, taking control of the entire western and southwestern parts of the Chang'an region. These areas had important farmland that supplied Chang'an. Now that farmland would feed her army. More importantly, she cut off Chang'an from reinforcements coming from the west. With her father's forces approaching from the north and east, she had completely blocked all escape routes for the Sui troops in the capital. In just a few months, the army of the lady had grown to over 70,000 soldiers. Li Yuan's victories laid the foundation for the Tang Dynasty's birth. Around November 8, 617 CE, Li Yuan's unstoppable army reached Chang'an. In the previous months, Li Yuan's forces had quickly taken control of the regions north of the capital. They captured Huaying to block enemy advances from the east, secured the areas surrounding Chang'an, and then captured Tongguan, the main gateway to Chang'an from the east. They had gathered over 150,000 soldiers and finally met up with the army of the lady. Li Yuan was reunited with her husband Chai Shao, but they continued to lead their own troops separately. Chai Shao had been serving under her older brother Li Shimin, and they would command the frontal assault on the capital. Li Yuan's forces held the southwest perimeter, guarding against possible enemy reinforcements. Around November 18th, Li Yuan's siege of Chang'an officially began. The capital was huge, with records claiming a population of nearly 1 million. But Li Yuan's army had already cut off the city's food supply. The defenders were weakened by hunger and isolation, trapped behind the city walls. Morale plummeted. Breaking the siege was impossible. No reinforcements were coming. Around November 29th, the city surrendered. Li Yuan now controlled the Sui capital. He took over the imperial palace and assured remaining local officials there would be no purges. His control of Chang'an was orderly, with no recorded chaos or looting, a rarity in ancient Chinese warfare. Some accounts credit the discipline of Li Yuan's army for maintaining order in the city during this period. After capturing Chang'an, Li Yuan didn't immediately declare himself emperor. He still acted under the banner of saving the Sui dynasty, so he officially recognized Yang Yu as emperor. In December 6, 17 CE, Li Yuan helped Yang Yu ascend the throne as Emperor Gong of Sui. But Yang Yu was only around 12 years old, so he needed a regent. Li Yuan named himself regent and began issuing edicts in the child emperor's name. During this time, Li Yuan served as military governor of the regions she had captured. Her army of the lady continued to control the area's important food supplies and became the backbone of the city's security and logistics. In April 6, 18 CE, Emperor Yang was assassinated by his own troops in Jiangdu. When news reached Chang'an, Li Yuan knew the time had come. On June 18th, Li Yuan forced Emperor Gong to abdicate, officially ending the Sui dynasty. 3 days later, Li Yuan established the Tang Dynasty and proclaimed himself emperor, Emperor Gaozu. As the new emperor's daughter, Li Yuan was now a princess, granted the title Pingyang. In the Sui and Tang dynasties, imperial princess titles were almost always taken from the names of important locations. Pingyang was a unique political and cultural center in ancient China and the homeland of Liu Bang, the founding emperor of the Han Dynasty. By giving Li Yuan this title, it was meant to symbolize ancestral legitimacy and dynastic rebirth, linking the Tang Dynasty's founding to the prestige of earlier great dynasties. Some modern interpretations also suggest a literal meaning. Ping means to suppress, and Yang refers to the area around Chang'an, honoring her military contributions that led to Li Yuan's victory. For her achievements, Princess Pingyang was awarded the highest honors ever bestowed on an imperial woman. Historical records state her merits were essential to the Tang Dynasty's founding. Some accounts even say Li Yuan wanted to grant her a prince's title, a male noble title, to recognize her military accomplishments, but conservative officials blocked this. Princess Pingyang, a female general, had helped build the Tang Dynasty. In 623 CE, Princess Pingyang suddenly passed away. She was in her late 20s or early 30s. The cause of her death is unknown. Historical records state that Emperor Gaozu ordered a military funeral for his daughter, something never before granted to an imperial woman in Chinese history and never again. She was given full military honors, front and rear military bands, a funeral procession carrying military banners and war drums, and an escort of fully armored elite guards. This funeral caused an uproar in the Tang court. The Minister of Rites protested that using war music for a woman's funeral was inappropriate. Emperor Gaozu retorted, "This princess holds the highest merits and helped establish the dynasty. She is not comparable to ordinary women. Why should she not have war music?" He also granted Princess Pingyang the posthumous title, Zhao, meaning bright or luminous. Some interpret this as a symbol that she was the guiding light of the Tang Dynasty. Thus, she became known as Princess Pingyang Zhao, the only imperial woman in Chinese history buried with full military honors. Her husband Haishal continued his military career as a Tang general, helping secure the early empire's borders and consolidate power. He was eventually granted the title Duke of Chao Commandery and honored as one of the Tang Dynasty's founding generals. He and Princess Pingyang had 2 sons, and he never remarried after her death. But wait, we skipped 5 years. What happened to Princess Pingyang between the Tang Dynasty's founding and her death in 623 CE? That's where things get interesting. We don't know. There are no official records of her during this period, leaving us with legends and folklore to fill in the gaps. First, there's the theory that Princess Pingyang never retired from military service and continued campaigning for the Tang court. A fascinating legend tells of a desperate battle against the rebel warlord Liu Haida. Princess Pingyang's army was trapped in a mountain pass by overwhelming enemy forces. She ordered her troops to cook large amounts of rice and pour the cloudy rice water onto the ground. At dawn, the enemy saw the yellow rice water and mistook it for the urine of thousands of cavalry horses, believing reinforcements had arrived. The enemy withdrew, allowing Princess Pingyang to escape. This mountain pass is now known as Liangziguan, or Lady's Pass. Tragically, this theory suggests she ultimately died from wounds sustained in battles against Lu Haida. Another popular modern theory is that she died from childbirth complications while having her second son. Some believe her active military leadership and physically demanding lifestyle put a strain on her body, making her more vulnerable during childbirth. A third theory suggests Princess Pingyang died amid early Tang court politics. By 623 CE, tensions were escalating between her two older brothers, Li Jiancheng and Li Shimin. It's theorized she got caught in the middle of their rivalry and died as a result. Some suggest assassination, others that she died of grief from watching her brothers turn against each other. Li Shimin would later win this rivalry and become the Tang Dynasty's second emperor, Emperor Taizong. But Princess Pingyang didn't live to see it. Unfortunately, we'll never know the truth. Princess Pingyang was one of the most extraordinary women in Chinese history. She built and led her own army to victory, playing a critical commanding role in the founding of one of China's greatest dynasties. It's strange, though, that so much of her story is missing after the Tang Dynasty was established, forcing us to rely on legends and folklore. Or maybe it's not strange at all. Maybe ancient historians intentionally left these parts out. Who knows? What do you think about this incredible princess general? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed today's topic, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.